GMNA uses artificial intelligence for generated speech, visuals, and production. AI-generated content may contain errors. Please verify important information before making decisions or taking action.
Good morning, Montreal. I'm Lauren Dupuis. Quebec has pledged $123 million to breathe new life into the East Side industrial site, while public health urges us to stay cool during this humidex over 40 heat wave. Minor traffic delays today, and Myland welcomes Green Crust Bakery. Over to you, Ryan.
Canada Day celebrations feature a fireworks boat party sailing the St. Lawrence River, launching tonight at dusk.
The boat party includes live musical performances, food vendors, and a family-friendly viewing area for the fireworks display.
Tickets are sold online, with limited spots for families, groups, and early bird purchasers receiving a complimentary souvenir.
All right, let's get into it, starting with the latest headlines and what you need to know this morning. Good morning, Montreal. Yesterday, the Quebec government announced a $123 million Canadian investment to rehabilitate a former industrial site in East Montreal. The province will target roughly 30 million square feet of vacant industrial land that has long sat idle in the boroughs east of the city. Officials say the funding will cover environmental cleanup, infrastructure upgrades, and the creation of mixed-use space designed to attract businesses and housing. By converting the derelict area, the plan aims to inject new economic activity and raise property values across the neighborhood. The initiative forms part of a broader provincial strategy to repurpose underused industrial zones and stimulate growth in the island's eastern districts. Construction crews are expected to begin work in the coming weeks, with the first phases focused on site remediation and utility installation.
Residents of Dollar des Ormeaux will gather with city officials at a town hall on August 6th to address the lingering debris from last week's West Island floods. Municipal representatives say the session will focus on a coordinated plan to remove the piles of trash and damaged material that remain in streets and backyards. Community members have voiced frustration that cleanup crews have not yet cleared the waste left by the high water, prompting calls for faster action. The meeting, scheduled for the town hall on the island's western edge, aims to outline timelines, allocate resources, and answer questions about future prevention measures. Officials intend to present a detailed schedule and invite input from homeowners and business owners still coping with the aftermath of the flooding. City Councillor Marie Tremblay will lead the discussion, emphasizing the need for transparency and a timely response.
City officials say the online bike lane consultation, opened early June, is drawing a sharp response from local cyclists. Riders claim the survey lacks independence and could expose personal information, prompting a wave of privacy complaints. The municipality argues the platform follows standard data protection protocols and that feedback will shape the planned expansion of the island's protected cycling network. Critics, however, point to the use of city-issued accounts and opaque analytics as potential sources of bias. The debate has intensified as the consultation remains open, with cyclists urging the administration to adopt a third-party system before any further data are collected. The city has not indicated a deadline for revising the process, leaving the controversy unresolved as the consultation continues. Meanwhile, the city's transportation department plans to release preliminary findings next month, but has not yet confirmed how cyclist input will affect final route decisions.
The province's largest waste facility in Terrebonne is undergoing an urgent expansion to add capacity for an extra 1.2 million tons of material. Officials say the megasite, already the biggest landfill in Quebec, will be enlarged as municipal waste streams continue to rise. Construction crews began work early this morning, reinforcing the perimeter and excavating new cells to accommodate the additional volume. The project aims to keep the site operational for the next several decades, reducing the need for new landfills elsewhere. Environmental monitors will track runoff and air quality throughout the build, while the Provincial Ministry of the Environment has approved the plan under emergency provisions. Residents of surrounding boroughs are being advised to expect increased truck traffic on nearby routes as the expansion proceeds in the region.
U.S. officials said yesterday they have recorded a sharp rise in illegal border crossings from Quebec into Vermont. Authorities noted that migrants from a range of countries are congregating in the eastern townships, before attempting the trek across the international line. The surge was first flagged in a report issued Tuesday evening, highlighting a marked increase compared with previous weeks. Border Patrol agents say the influx has stretched resources at entry points near the town of St. Albans and other crossing sites. Officials are coordinating with Canadian counterparts to address the flow, but no joint operation has been announced. The crossings are taking place along rural roads near the Missisquoi and Pike Rivers, where patrollers have reported groups moving in small, coordinated units. U.S. Customs and Border Protection indicated that the heightened activity has prompted temporary staffing boosts at the northern Vermont checkpoints. Later, we'll examine the man shot at the SHAIR and Montcalm intersection and its impact on neighborhood safety. We will be right back.
Watch the local sunset tonight at 6 p.m. for all your local Montreal news.
If you run a venue, a comedy night, a concert, a fundraiser, you already know the hardest part isn't the show. It's selling the seats. Theaterfiller changes that. In minutes, you're set up with your own ticketing page, QR code delivery, and a door scanner. No technical headaches. No middleman taking a cut of your night. Your event, your tickets, your revenue. Go to theaterfiller.com and fill every seat.
Welcome back, everyone. I hope you're feeling refreshed. Let's dive into today's local stories with Ryan Mercer, who's ready with the latest updates.
Authorities responded to reports of gunfire at the intersection of SHAIR Street and Montcalm Street in the Ville-Marie borough early this morning. Police confirmed that a man was shot, sustaining injuries to his upper body before being transported to a nearby hospital for treatment. The victim's condition remains under observation, and investigators are reviewing surveillance footage and interviewing witnesses. This episode adds to a recent string of downtown shootings that have been logged by the police over the past weeks. Officers are urging anyone with additional information to come forward, though they have not disclosed further details at this time. The neighborhood has seen increased police patrols as part of an effort to deter further violence and reassure residents walking the streets after dark. Local shop owners reported a temporary slowdown as pedestrians hesitated to cross the busy corridor.
The province announced a sweeping redesign of Highway 10 between Brossard and Carignan. Reserved lanes will be added for buses and high-occupancy vehicles, while the aging roadway will receive structural upgrades. Officials say the changes aim to streamline commutes for South Shore residents and to improve connections to the REM rapid transit line that runs alongside the corridor. The plan targets the busy stretch that serves thousands of daily commuters traveling to and from the city. By separating public transit and carpool traffic from general flow, the government expects faster travel times and reduced congestion during peak periods. Construction details and timelines will be released in the coming weeks, and the project is slated to begin after the design phase is completed. The dedicated lanes are expected to cut rush hour travel by several minutes, making the commute more reliable for families and workers alike.
Yesterday, Montreal Public Health issued a warning as meteorologists forecast an extended stretch of high heat and humidity across the city and much of southern Quebec and Ontario. Officials said the upcoming heat spell could push temperatures into the high 90s with oppressive moisture, conditions that raise the risk of heat-related illness, especially for seniors, young children, and those with chronic conditions. Residents are urged to stay hydrated, limit outdoor activity during the hottest parts of the day, and check on vulnerable neighbors. Cooling centers will be opened at community hubs, and public pools are advised to extend hours where possible. The agency also recommends wearing lightweight clothing, using fans or air-conditioned spaces, and seeking medical attention promptly if symptoms like dizziness or rapid heartbeat appear. Authorities will monitor the situation and update guidance as the heat persists.
The city has closed Camelier Howd Way on Mount Royal for a 2-week road maintenance project that began today and will run through the 14th of July. Crews are repairing the surface ahead of a scheduled bike race later this month, and the work requires full lane closures. Motorists who normally cross the ridge are now being directed onto alternative streets, adding extra travel time to daily commutes and deliveries. The detour signs point drivers toward Rue de la Montagne and Boulevard St. Laurent, while cyclists are advised to follow the temporary lane markings set up for the event. Officials say the repairs are essential to ensure a safe racing surface and to prevent further deterioration. The closure will remain in effect until the 14-day work period is complete. Public transit routes crossing the corridor have been rerouted, and drivers are asked to allow extra time for the detour.
An unprecedented heat wave has rolled through the city, pushing humidex readings past 40 and temperatures climbing to 40 degrees Celsius. Health officials say the conditions, which began on June 30th and are expected to persist through July 6th, are straining residents without reliable access to air conditioning. Dr. David Kaiser of the Montreal Regional Public Health Directorate warned that low-income households face heightened risk of dehydration, heat exhaustion, and related illnesses. The department has opened cooling centers in community centers and libraries, urging those who feel unwell to seek shade and hydrate. Ambulance calls have risen, especially among seniors and people with chronic conditions. Officials stress that the disparity in cooling resources amplifies the danger for vulnerable groups, and they are monitoring the situation closely as the wave continues. Citizens are advised to check local alerts and limit outdoor activity during the hottest periods.
Now let's get a look at your morning forecast with our weather team.
A deepening ridge over central Canada is squeezing moisture out, leaving Montreal baked under relentless summer heat. On this date, the all-time high stands at 33.9 Celsius, set in 2018 during an unprecedented heat wave that hammered the province. The record low is 15.1 Celsius, recorded in 2016 when a polar air mass slipped unusually far south. By contrast, the climatological average high hovers around 28 Celsius and the average low near 17, underscoring how today's warmth sits well above the norm. The live radar shows a pristine sky, no rain echoes across the map. A high-pressure ridge dominates, keeping the column of air dry and stable. The western jet stream at 86 kilometers per hour is steering clear of any moisture, so no precipitation is expected to reach the city today. With the atmosphere holding steady, the radar will remain quiet through the morning and into the afternoon. Turning now to the day's outlook. At 7, Montreal sits under partly cloudy skies, temperature 22 Celsius, humidity 94%, dew point 21 Celsius. Pressure is near average and rising, signaling drier, more stable air moving in behind the ridge. Overhead, the jet stream thunders westward at 86 kilometers per hour, reinforcing the warm, dry regime. Temperatures will climb steadily, reaching a peak of 32 Celsius by mid-afternoon under clear skies. UV index sits at 5. Light breezes from the west, gusting to 19 kilometers per hour, keep the feel comfortable. Heat warnings are in effect for the Montreal Island area and surrounding municipalities, including Laval, Longueuil, Chateauguay, and the broader South Shore. No rain is forecast, and wind remains below the threshold for special mention. With the atmosphere set, let's glance at the 5-day outlook. Wednesday brings another scorching day, high 33 Celsius, low 22, sky clear from dawn to dusk. Thursday repeats the pattern, high 33, low 22, uninterrupted sunshine. Friday eases slightly with a high of 32 and a low of 23, still clear. Saturday introduces a modest shift, high 30, low 20, mainly clear but a 30% chance of rain in the evening, offering a brief respite. Sunday closes the week with a high of 29, low 18, overcast clouds dominating the sky. The stretch showcases a solid heat dome with only a late week chance of precipitation, underscoring the lingering summer heat. And that's your weather. Remember, the local sunrise is also available as a podcast. Listen anytime on Apple Podcasts or wherever you get your podcasts.
We'll update you on traffic delays, showcase Green Crust Vegan Bakery, and preview Canada Day fireworks and the Jazz Festival. We will be right back.
Watch the local sunset tonight at 6 p.m. for all your local Montreal news.
The biggest story this morning is the holiday service change for the STM all bus routes, and the Metro are running on a reduced Saturday timetable. So expect longer waits at busy stops, especially on the green and orange lines through downtown. On the EXO side, buses follow the Saturday schedule and trains are on a Sunday timetable, which means fewer trips on the commuter lines to the South Shore and Laval. On the roads, traffic is flowing smoothly. Autoroute 6 is clear from the Turcotte interchange to the Descaries junction. St. Laurent Boulevard and Rue St. Denis are moving at normal speed, and the Descaries Expressway shows no bottlenecks. Drivers can expect a steady ride into the office. Looking ahead to the afternoon, the holiday schedule remains in effect, so keep in mind the reduced frequency on the Metro and EXO lines. No new incidents are forecast, and the main highways should stay clear through rush hour.
Canada Day erupts at the Old Port of Montreal today, with family activities, live performances, and the RCMP pipes and drums, culminating in a fireworks display at 10 p.m., perfect for a sunrise stroll or an evening picnic. If you prefer the water, the Canada Day fireworks boat party sets sail from Croisières Navarque in Longueuil, offering a rooftop dance floor, DJs and skyline views as the city lights up. Jazz lovers can catch Grammy-winning vocalist Melody Gardot tonight at Salle Wilfrid Pelletier, a highlight of the Festival International de Jazz that continues across the Quartier des Spectacles. The Jazz Festival blankets the city with free outdoor stages, so you can soak up world-class music while sipping coffee on a park bench. Looking ahead, tomorrow's Carai Festa parade will flood St. Catherine Street with Caribbean costumes, reggae beats, and community spirit, a vibrant preview of the summer's street festivals. And now here's Tyler with sports.
A quieter sports board today, with no fresh local team update from RSS. A 14-year chapter in Montreal is over. The Canadians have dealt forward Brendan Gallagher to the Vancouver Canucks in exchange for future considerations. CBC Sports NHL confirmed the move, closing the book on one of the longest and most recognizable tenures in recent Habs history. Gallagher is heading west, but he is leaving a piece of himself behind. Now a Vancouver Canuck, the veteran forward told Sportsnet that Montreal will always feel like home after 14 seasons with the club, adding that he is genuinely excited about the next chapter of his career. In a moment worth celebrating, Carey Price is headed to the Hockey Hall of Fame. The Canadiens' goaltending great was elected to the 2026 class alongside Patrice Bergeron, Pekka Rinne, Keith Tkachuk, and Cindy Curley. CBC Sports NHL reported the election earlier this month.
Green Crust, a new vegan bakery and cafe tucked into Milan's historic St. Viateur building, opened its doors on June 30, 2026. The shop serves plant-based pastries, artisan breads, and coffee, all crafted without animal products. With a menu that ranges from flaky croissants to seasonal fruit tarts, the bakery meets the growing demand for sustainable, cruelty-free food in the city. Its arrival adds a fresh culinary stop to the neighborhood, drawing both longtime residents and curious tourists to the already vibrant Milan streets. For Montrealers who value creativity and conscience, Green Crust shows how tradition can be reimagined, one bite at a time. It's already becoming a gathering spot for friends sharing stories over coffee. Stay tuned for a heartwarming look at Green Crust, the vegan bakery bringing fresh flavor to Milan's historic St. Viateur building.
Coming up tonight at 6, the local sunset. Your neighborhood, your city, your news. From city hall decisions to the stories happening right on your street, we cover what matters most to Montrealers. Join us tonight at 6 p.m. on gmna for the local Sunset Montreal's evening newscast.
In Varennes, just a short drive from downtown Montreal, a crowd gathered on the river's edge as the province rolled out its most ambitious energy roadmap yet. Families with coffee cups, local schoolchildren in bright jackets, and the mayor standing beside a sleek new turbine model listened as officials outlined a 25-year, $87 billion plan to lift renewable power to 77% of Quebec's electricity by 2050. The most vivid moment came when a teenage volunteer, notebook in hand, stepped forward to flip the switch on a prototype solar array that lit up a modest garden of lavender and rosemary, casting a warm glow over the smiling faces nearby. That simple flick of a switch turned a hopeful vision into something you could see, feel, and share with a neighbor. It reminded everyone that the province's climate goals aren't just statistics on a page. They're built on everyday actions, community pride, and the belief that clean energy can grow right here along the St. Lawrence. And as the sun rose over the river, the promise felt as real as the light on the water.
Here in the quiet village of Lakefield, just a short drive north of Lachute, residents woke to a sky that turned greenish and a low rumble that sent birds scattering. At sunrise, a narrow funnel touched down, tearing through the old maple grove beside the community center. First on the scene were the volunteer fire brigade from the neighboring town of St. Eustache, their trucks humming as they raced down the gravel road. Neighborhood volunteers, armed with sandbags and a shared determination, formed a human chain to protect the beloved community garden where seniors grew their own vegetables. Amid the swirling wind, a 9-year-old boy named Lucas clutched his dog, and a local teacher, Marie-Claude, lifted them both to safety, sheltering them under the sturdy roof of the old schoolhouse. By afternoon, the storm had passed, leaving a few scattered branches but a town even more tightly knit. Families gathered on front porches, sharing coffee and stories of how they pulled together, reminding us that the strongest weather is the kindness we extend to one another. That's a reminder of the resilience that defines our region.
Thank you, Montreal, for joining us on the local sunrise. Today's look at the city's new bike lane privacy concerns sparked an important conversation about safety on our streets. Stay tuned tomorrow for more stories that matter to our community. I'm Lauren Dupuis, wishing you a bright day ahead.